Everyone, I'm Randy Wilson, Real PD. Another episode of Real Perspective, and today I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Mark Richards, owner of Cool Hollow Financial. He's been my advisor for quite a long time now, and he was actually, when I first created Real PD, he was actually one of my first, clients, because he was involved with one of my mastermind groups that he had, that I had. So he's been with me for a long time. I've been with him for a long time, and I really trust him. And he has a awesome message that he's going to share with you today. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mark. What is it that you want to share?
So we talked about the message of harmony, and I've been in business about 12 or 13 years. And I was talking to Randy about, when we first get into business, our goal is as I always say, to not fail, right? So you spend a lot of time working compared to really thinking about, in the beginning, we talked about balance, but Randy brought up the idea that balance is really hard to have, and everybody's balance is different. And so we thought more of the idea of harmony was a great way to look at it. And, we talked a little bit about, in the beginning, I was working, 70, 80 hours a week for probably about 3 or 4 years in a row, and, really got super motivated about creating a different financial platform for my family compared to what I came from. And the downside to that is it actually really started to bleed into hurting my relationship with my wife, not being a great father, not intentionally, but just not around. And it's really hard to have a great relationship with your children if you're not present. And so we talked a little bit about, about 5 or 6 years ago, I would say I kind of got a slap in the face, and that was, I was hypothetically looking in the mirror of Mark Richards, and did I like, what he was becoming? And the answer was honestly no.
Wow.
And so, at that point, Randy and I had a conversation, what's the most important thing on your tombstone? And really, when you think about it, it's the dash, right? It's about what did we accomplish and what's going to be our legacy. And, personally, when I started to do some reflection on that, it wasn't good, right? It was probably going to be an identity around Mark Richards and a workaholic.
Yeah.
And I didn't love that. So, at that point, I really got super focused on trying to have, as we call it, harmony in my life, which was still working and creating impact, but, impact became a very influential word in my life. And instead of being, successful with the financial side, it became more motivated to how could I have impact in my family, with my children, with my wife, and in my community. And, over the last 5 or 6 years, there's definitely constant struggles of making all that work, but, having impact has become super motivational to me, and wanting to be a great resource for friends and family. And it's definitely, if I do reflection now, it's definitely put me in a place where I feel a lot better with what I'm seeing in the mirror than I did a few years ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know that there are a lot of other people out there that are either in that same situation that you talked about, or they're going to get into it. So I hope that this video really speaks to you out there. If you're struggling with that harmony that Mark talked about, that he shared, just internalize, reflect, think about what you really want to be. Think about your dash on the tombstone. What is your legacy? And if you're struggling with that, just maybe reach out. I can help you with that, just as an offer. So, Mark, thank you so much for sharing that, because it speaks to me. And then I do remember that first time that you mentioned the dash is the most important part of the tombstone, and it's always stuck with me. It's always stuck with me. So make our time on earth worthwhile.
Amen.
It's not just about work.
Amen.
Love you, brother. I appreciate it. Another episode of Real Perspective. We'll be back again. Take care. Peace.